Yo everyone, what up? Welcome back to Top Tier Arcade. My name is Steve, and we're back in the spare bedroom where we're housed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pinball in my apartment. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Restore Part 2, and we're going to be doing a few things. We're going to be adding the lit speaker mod. We're definitely going to be doing the topper, and if we have time, we'll get to the buttons. Because now I have see-through buttons as well for them to be lit up a little later on. So when we get right down to it, I've taken the glass off to quicken things up. I've removed the back glass, and I've also, started to open the back box. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to show you what we're going to be dealing with based on all of our stuff. So here's the topper for the Ninja Turtles. Here are the brackets. All this came from Marco's. So there's better. All these came from Marco's Specialties. This is the speaker, the kit. So it comes with the little power. I guess that's the like the infrared that or whatever the technology that actually gets to the remote. And then that's the remote itself. And then here the speaker. There's the brackets, and they plug in, and this plugs in. We'll find it to the power. And then there's two sets of brackets. There's these and these. I actually want to use these because this bracket, by the way, does not come with screws, and I left all my tools or my parts at my parents'. So there's the instructions. They're not the greatest, but I mean it should be very straightforward. And then I have some zip strip ties that we're gonna neaten things up. And why don't we just get started? So that's what we're dealing with. We're gonna attack the speakers first. Only because it should take a little longer. All right, so let me set you up. We'll get organized. We'll get started, and we'll start to firstly install the lit speaker. What do they really call it? Light up speaker kits. Fair enough. Now this is I think this is I don't know. It says what kit it is. I know I got it from Marco's. It's for Data East and some certain Stearns. But either way, let's set you up, and we'll get to it. All right, so first let's take off the speakers here. And let's see what we're dealing with. So, let's see. Let me get in close with you guys. All right, so here's what we're dealing with. So these are the Data East speakers. So what I'm going to do, and I don't have to record this, I'm going to unscrew this. I'm going to unscrew all these and lift it up, and then we'll bring the actual speaker kit here. We'll have it ready. So first thing, I'm going to unscrew these, and then there's two different, I guess, screws, depending on length and what game. We'll see what's going to work best, and we'll take it from there. So I'll be back, so I'm going to just unscrew these 4 screws, put the one on, make sure it works, and then we'll do the same for the second one. So I'll be back after I just unscrew these. Okay, so just taking all the nuts off, and then this just exposes the speaker just like that. So let me just get one of the brackets here. So here's one of the brackets. And I want to have the most slack. So I assume this just goes on. Beautiful, just like that. Maybe I'll do it the other way. Let me see if they're all the same. This one makes a little more sense because it's pointed here, so then I have more slack there. Was that the same thing? Whatever. Let's not have it touch. Okay, so just bracket in. I don't like how that's sitting. What's wrong? Maybe I should read the instructions, huh? No, it has to sit down like that. Probably a good idea that I get the instructions. It'd be like this, no? Stocks, we place the LED frame on top of the grill, making sure that the screw holes are up. I guess like that. And the lead wire coming near the bottom corner of your DMD. Which I guess then would be here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Once in position, replace the speaker and screw all four using the longer provided screws. The upgrade kit. Remember to hook the ground strap back on if you've upgraded speakers installed. So maybe I'm making this more complicated than it should be. No, that can't be right. Alright. Well, they have to be up like this, so then... So mine, we need the extenders. So I'm pretty sure mine's going to need these extenders here. So these came with these extenders. Let me just check this out. The other one, you just replaced the screw. So these give it like a, it's changing the orientation, the sexual orientation, isn't it? Or gender orientation, because now it's going from a male to a female. Does that make sense so far? Is that working? Yeah, it seems. All right. Okay, so now makes a little more sense. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, so then I'll have that just here. Get that out of there. And then the speaker just goes exactly back to how we had it. So we're going to be using those screws. Now the only part that kind of sucks is I wanted to use a few of these screws for my marquee, which means I will not have any, which means I may have to go get more, which means just more extra time. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw these down. I'm going to screw these down and then do the same on the other speaker. Hopefully that works, or maybe I should just try to, no, that has to be that. Yeah, I'm going to screw these down. I mean, I didn't really need the instructions. I'm going to screw these down and see what happens, see how it looks on the other side, do the same to the other side, and then start plugging in the actual power. Okay, so that's them all screwed in here. I actually was screwing this and then it actually stripped it and broke it, so that was stupid, but it didn't snag properly, but it doesn't matter. It's pretty secure. So now the important thing is where I'm going to get the power for this, and then that's how I'm going to mount it. So I was talking to my pinball guys, and Mike was like, Steve, on the boards there should be, I mean, ground is the black, and then I need 12. A 12 volt is the red, and he says, look at your board, and it turns out right there in my power board or power supply, those are test spots where you can plug in your multimeter or whatnot. So if you can tell, there is ground, and then there is 12 volt, is it? Yeah, plus 12. So I'm gonna alligator clip the black there and the plus there, make sure they don't touch. Maybe even tape them off so there's no touching if it moves, because it's gonna be shaking. And then neatly run the wire down here, and then plug into the control panel, and then plug into these. So what I'll do is I'm gonna plug them in, and I'll show you where they go in a second. So I'll cut away, and then I'll come back to where they are and how they're secure. Okay, so that was pretty easy. So what I've done, as you can see, let me just raise the sleeves here on the alligator clips. So there's the 12, and now they're looped, so coming off is difficult, so even shaking them, they're fine. So I'm gonna just push the sleeve down so the least of it's covered, or exposed, I should say. So these are literally alligatored in and snapped in. So I'm gonna just put the sleeve down there, maybe put, you know what, they're good. Honestly, I'm thinking of just maybe putting a piece of a tape, but why? There's a lot of room between them, everything looks to be okay. I mean, I can put a piece of tape like right there on that, right on there, but then again, doesn't matter. I mean, it looks good. So I just use the existing, cabinet wire holders here, ran it, snaked it down. If I need a little more, if I need a little more slack because it stops here, I'll just undo one of them. Very well. All right, so then let me grab the power plug, and then where that plugs in, and we'll get going, because I kind of want to put it, well, no, right there is not a good idea, is it? We'll see. Let me see where I'll put it in just a sec. All right, so what I've done, as you can see here, I've left some slack. Here's where the actual, let me get in. So I've left slack, and I'm gonna just mount it there. It looks pretty neat right there. Doesn't look too bad. I was gonna put it through here, but there's just not enough slack for it to sit flush. So that looks good there, that's fine. So I'm gonna just, put a screw in later once it works. This is the optic that, that records, or the receiver that gets the remote. And then let's plug this in. Sec here, okay. So this one I'll put under here. So that plugs just like that. That is a little loose. I'm going to tape that in just a sec. I can see how that's going to come. It would come loose. Let me just get tape real quick. Actually, maybe I should see if it works, no? Yeah, alright, so everything looks to be plugged in. Alright, everything looks to be plugged in. All right, so let's plug this in and see what happens. Before I turn it on, let me double check my work. So plugged in, 12 ground, and let's do it. I don't know what color it's going to be, probably green, but we'll see. Here we go.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
Well, one works. Why doesn't the other? What's going on here? One works, one doesn't. Why? Oh man. Alright, let me take this apart. I don't know what's wrong. Alright, that freaked me the hell out. False alarm, I'm stupid. Manuals are good. See these arrows? They have to line up. Mine were backwards. So arrows. Arrows. Alright, so now when I turn it on, whew, that scared me. Now when I turn it on, there it is.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
Alright, so those are the speakers. Now they look weird because they're not angled. And I want to lower the intensity because they're almost too green. Actually, it's hard to say because they're weird. Anyways, let me turn this off for a sec. Okay, so the good thing is it works. The good thing is they work. Alright, so what I'm going to do is let me button this up. Whew. Let me button this up exactly how I was going to do it. I won't put a screw there yet. I'll put everything back and then play around with the remote. So let's get to that. Let me just put everything back. Alright gang, so I've buttoned everything up. I haven't screwed them down yet just because. I'll maybe just put one screw in a little later. Maybe just leave it as it is. But let's turn it on and see how it looks like. We'll get the remote. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Don't blow up. Yeah! Kind of cool, huh? So then, I was just playing it off screen, really quick. So with the remote, you have different features. You'd have to go in there to change it. Do you see the different colors? That's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. Different colors. You can do one with just like auto, which I guess we'll do. What do you think of that? No. You can do a flash one. What do you think? No, that's annoying. I'm gonna just keep it solid green. Let me see how high it goes and how low it goes. So whatever the highest is, which is that, I'll go one less. Like that. Looks kind of neat, huh? Is this the greenest green? There's more in like a darker green, but like that. I don't know, that kind of does look cool. Shoot, now I don't know which one to choose. The only thing is I want it to match the D&D the most. And I think the other one does. That one. The brightest. Yeah, that matches the D&D perfectly. Yeah, that's good. Come on, stay still. Maybe one lower. Yeah, one lower. Yeah, I think that matches the D&D perfectly. Looks pretty good. Cool, man. So everything seems to be matching up. That looks pretty cool. And then what I'll do is let's put the backglass on. And let me put the backglass. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna put the Velcro. Stupid. Instead of me taping or screwing, I'm gonna actually Velcro it. Okay, what I'll do is when we come back, I'm gonna set you up again, and I'm gonna take you to the top of the machine with the topper. I have to find you screws now because I used them all properly for this one. So let's turn this off. Let me make sure. So the game looks a little more modern. Good. All right, let's go to the top of the cab. All right, so above the cabinet, here we are. We have all the screws and everything ready, all the driver bits. There's the marquee. It does have a plastic film over. We'll take it off in a sec. There's the brackets. Now, it's going to be a little hard to film, but evidently it's going to be like this. Boom. Boom. Like that. And then the marquee right in front. So just like that. All right, so that's going to be just like this. Again, there's a plastic film on it, and you can see there, and even the plastic back. Going to take that off. Those screws are a little long, plus I have the nut behind it. I'm going to just snug it up. I just don't want to go to the store for 4 screws. So I'm going to use what it came with. I don't want to even spend another penny if I don't have to. And then I'll explain what I want to do later on with this. So again, very straightforward. I'm going to screw down the bracket and then screw that to that just like that. All right, guys, so I'll be back and I'll show you what that looks like. And hopefully don't run into any more problems just because. All right, just took 5 minutes, not even. And I just screwed this in. Now, the interesting thing is there's already holes here. Because I'm screwing in, I'm like, this is going easy. I'm like, wait a minute. How the hell would anyone know where the screws are? So, yeah, they were already here perfectly. I even quickly measured from here to here. And then from that side. And it's the exact same. So, this game originally did have the topper at some point. Interesting. So, yeah, now I'm going to just put the... put the topper there, fit it with these screws, and then I'll come back once that's done. Okay, so that was annoying. I actually, I was saying the screws were already there. A stupid mistake. Don't assume because they weren't. They're way too close. They stopped under the Ninja Turtles' heads. Like there, and they're not even close. So I don't know what they're trying to do, and then I brought it closer because it was way far back. So that looks awesome. The nuts in the back, because I had to really screw it in because they're not meant for it. I think I kind of stripped them a bit, so they're taking a hard time to get in through the back. But what I'm going to do is, the plan for this is, you see these bulbs? I think they're 45s. Well, the deal is, see the mesh behind there? I'm going to actually tie in, you see those 3 bulbs, left, right, and center? So the left bulb will go to Michelangelo. The right bulb will go to the Play Pinball dudes, and then the right will go under Donatello. So what happens is when that hits, so like usually it's when you get the ramps. Usually the left ramp does the left, and the middle and the right ramp does that. Yeah, I'm screwing up the focus. And then, so what I want to do is do a dual LED with the dual head there to play out to make up the bigger space, and then a single LED for Michelangelo orange, and then a purple for Donatello. So that's going to come later on, and I'm going to fold the head for that, and then I'll screw in the back because it's hard to reach with this with my limited room. So let me just stand back a little. Let me turn this on. And then we'll move to the next step.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
So it looks pretty good. And then, so that's going to be lit up once it does, once it hits the bulbs. So far it's looking pretty good. Very happy, so far so good. And what we'll do now, because again, they're just intervals, is I'm gonna actually lift the play field. I think I'm gonna just swap the plunger because I have a red one instead. And then the data east, I have this, I don't know what this is, like the bracket or the medallion, whatever the hell this is called. So I have this face, the data east one. I want to put that back, and then I want to put the clear buttons, shit, that freaked me out. And then the clear button as well. Okay, so I'm gonna shut this off. I'm gonna shut this off, and then what I'll do is, I'm gonna just work on these, and then apparently it's easy. You see this C-clip? You just take that out, make sure that it doesn't go flying everywhere, put it back, and that's pretty much it. And then replace this, which I have. So let's get to it. Okay, so I partially got up the playfield. I didn't want to lift the whole thing, to be honest. So I just got a piece of wood here. So I want to replace this. Now that's going to be a problem. This start button, because it's a cherry switch, like an arcade. The other one I have is strictly this. So I don't know how that's going to work. I have to just double check. And then this. So I'm going to just take... Where's that C-clip? Is this it? I'm going to just take this C-clip off, I guess. I think that's what I have to take off. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll have to take that off. And then I want to replace this with this, because this was the original data east. See, and it says DE. But I don't really care. And mine just red. And I want this one, because that says data east as well. I don't know why I removed it. Maybe it came with the whole thing. But either way, let me get at this, and then I'm going to just remove that, and I'll explain if there's anything else that I've learned, because this is the first time I'm doing this, because this spring is still good. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so what I've done is I just pulled back this spring, and then that was there, and then the C-clip, which goes right, there's a groove right there. And then this took a lot of wiggling back and forth to do, kind of like, I mean, it's like taking off a condom or just trying to roll it, but it's really on there. All right, so let's remove the, let's remove that spring. I'm just gonna remove this. So normally it'd be an easy fix. So I'm gonna just take all these that's on there, which I think it's kind of too many. I'm not gonna be honest. And normally if I put the red one, it'd be easy, but I actually want to replace this. So in here, there's a bunch of screws. Try to get into my tripod. I'm going to undo it and see what's there. So I'll be back to see what's there. All right, so that's what it looks like. I'm going to just actually take a moment and wipe that down. I know it's going to be covered, but why not? So that just came off easily. I have the screws here. And I'm going to put the other one. So this is going to be kind of cool. All right, so I'll be back. So again, I'm just going to take the black one off that, the original one, and then put the red, which is right here. Cool, I'll be back. All right, so there's the original Data East. Had the exact same screws, so that was really easy. Now, I'm thinking while I have this here, I'm going to replace this with one of the clear buttons. I'm going to just take that out. And that should just be open and close and then wipe it down. So I'm going to replace that button. So just take that out and then replace it. Same as that. And then I'm going to tack that at the end. And then I'll put this back with the red rod. So let's see how that turns out. So far, so good. All right, so here are the buttons. So there's the clear buttons. I'm going to just wipe that around right here. So I'm prepping these now, but I'm not going to finish them because I don't have the LEDs. So very easy, unscrew them. Now this one's going to be a pain in my ass because it's a cherry switch. Unless, shoot, you know, in my old arcade parts I have that. I do not have this because it won't fit. I might have to revisit that. I'm going to try. I'm going to come back and I'm going to put the rod in. I'm going to see if I can actually make that stay, but I don't think so. Shoot. Maybe I bought this not knowing. I didn't know. You know what? This is my fault. I'm stupid. I should have known better. And to get just a clear actual, just regular arcade button. Shoot. Anyways, if not, I have that part, and I'll, and I'll bring it from my parents' place, but it won't be for a couple weeks. But okay, so I'll be back, and let's see if that works, and we're pretty much done. Okay, so that's the button. So here we go. That's what it looks like done. Cool, huh? So that's the red one, the way it should be. Now, normally it would say date east, but to be honest, it really doesn't bother me. This became an issue because I don't have the clip. So I'm going to have to do that another time. It won't work. It's in my parents' place. And then I have to create, let me go sideways here, like a metal thing like that. So then the cherry switch will lean against it. And later on the LED that's going to be pointing towards it. So I just have to look at my parts, but not priority. So the front's almost done. All I need to do is this button, which will be red, and I'm going to tie it in with these here. And then later I'm going to bondo this and then do the front. So step by step, we're getting there. So far, so good. Again, my first time I worked at a pin. Little things, I know, it's very easy to do or to replace, but you know what? For me, every step is learning. It's another thing. I had the lock. I remember the buyer sold me the lock, I still gave me the lock, and I think that goes there, but I don't know what it does. Like, I don't know what relevance, what they would do, so I can lock the back box. I don't know. I'm going to just put everything down and see if I can figure out how to put this, because all it is 2 screws, and the key is right there. And I've tried it, so the key works. Now I have the key here, but I've just taken it off because I always, open and close it often. So, but we're getting there. So far, so good. So I'm going to clean up, put the screen back, and then put the back glass on. And I want to see where this goes and see if I can just take 2 screws and put it up there. If not, we'll save it for another restore. So I'll be back when it's all buttoned up. All right, everyone. So you know what? It's been a good half hour, and I was debating putting the lock on, and you know what? It works. I never knew, what it does. I mean, obviously I know what it does, but I never really knew it fit. I had to create new holes again. I don't know if the original owner knew. But either way, I just got the screws, put it up there, and now I have the key. So now this can't move without the key, turning it. So that's on there. That looks good. So that empty spot has been filled. And I actually put the lock on. I had the lock on the back, but I took the mech out that turns it. Just because at the time I never had free play, because I never had a DMD to put on free play. So what a great success. I did more than I thought. Added back took 2 seconds. The 2 nuts in the washer. Added back the lock. Added the lock to the back glass. Down that's complete. Added the topper, soon to be LED'd later on. The speaker lights look great. I added back the original plate, Data East. I added back the red translucent, transparent. The white buttons ready to be greened out later on. And then the red one, that's the only thing I didn't do, only because I don't have that little part, which is at my parents, and no big deal. I do have the sticker for the replacement for this. But again, I'm going to wait until later I clean this because it's really cruddy, and that's going to be one of the final details. So guys, let me set you up. Let me say goodbye for now and the official sign off. So really good today. All right, everyone, there you have it. There's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pinball Restore Part 2. Like I said, we got a lot done. The only thing I didn't get done is the start button which I didn't have the little clamp on the back because I never knew, and I should have known that it used an arcade like a normal push button and a cherry switch in the back. So I have one of those on my parents, no big deal, and I'm sure I can just put it back. If not, maybe one of my pinball guys have it, but I'm pretty sure I have one or two of those. Plus, I do have another switch. I actually have a switch, like a leaf switch, so it might make it easier, and I don't know about what I'm going to do to hold it up with the metal. But either way, I have a bag of parts that I've acquired over the years for my arcade stuff. That should be easy, and then later on, when I get the lights and when they get the play field back, we can start to light it up and run some wires and really do it up. So great success in part 2. 1 was the marquee, 2 was the topper, lights for the speakers, get the clear buttons, get the topper on, did I say that? Get the lock on for the backglass, get the lock work again. So a lot of little stuff just to button up. I'm very excited that it's moving along more than I thought. I know it's a lot of in and out, but again, I don't want to drag it on and just have me just sitting there talking and humming and hawing when I screw in this thing. So guys, if you haven't had a chance, please do so and subscribe. There's a lot more coming. I hope you learned something, and or at least, thank you for taking the journey with me. It's going great. So far, so good. It's not breaking the budget so far, knock on wood, and it's going along as planned. So please, come with me on this journey. So far, it's doing well. It's a lot of the light stuff now, but again, it's getting there. It's really, really getting there. So it's been a pleasure. Thanks for checking out Top Tier. Peace.